I have now got a special guest on, Mr. Stuart Wild. Great to see you, Stu. How are you, pal?
Nice to see you, mate. You okay?
Yeah, not good. Hey,
yeah, I'm trying to enjoy a bit of sunshine. I'm up at Whitworth Reservoir, you know. I've got myself a little secluded spot, me and the missus and the young lads, you know. So got ourselves a nice spot in the middle of nowhere with no one around, you know, 2 meter rule and all that.
Yeah. It's looking good, man. Looking good.
I was live on Facebook now. Right?
You are live on Facebook, pal.
Who's watching? Anyone watching? Have you tagged me?
I haven't tagged you. Yeah, I'll tag you, mate, in a second. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, how's life? You're coping with the lockdown? Missing football?
Yeah, missing the football. Yeah, but coping with it all right. To be honest, but it's nice spending time with the family and the kids and the missus and that. You know, it's been nice. It's been nice.
What do you think on the potential takeover then of Newcastle? I've just been speaking to Alex and seems pretty positive about it.
Well, from a City fans' point of view, it looks like we're going to have a rival, doesn't it? My only question of it all is with the new FFP rules. You know, whether they're going to actually be able to spend the money that he's got. You know, which I think is ridiculous. Well, obviously, what we're being pulled at because the Sheikh spent the money that's his own money. You know, and he owns the club. Well, I think it might be a shame for Newcastle because I wonder whether they'll actually be able to spend any of that money and get away with it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, it's just from a City fans' perspective, I'm looking at the takeover thinking it's 2008 all over again. You know what I mean? It's going to be deadline day in September. They're going to sign. I don't know.
They'll bring Fabinho every time.
They might sign Sancho out of nowhere. You just don't know, do you?
You just don't know. They're going to throw money at it, but they just, like I said, they'll be having big meetings up there now, Newcastle, about the FFP. You know, a lot of it'll be about that. I just wonder whether it's the FFP for me. It's designed to keep the Elite Four as the Elite Four, so nobody can come and spoil the party. You know, we kind of got away with it, and we have come and spoiled the party in terms of domestically. We've spoiled the party. We've won everything, haven't we? But they don't like it, do they? These big boys, you know, United, Liverpool's, Arsenal's. They've voted against, haven't they? And ganged up on us, sort of thing, which I think is just daft. I don't know you can get away with being a club that, you know, operates under £600 million worth of debt or whatever it is, but that's all right. But a guy that's spending his own money, doing what he wants with his own money, not going to leave the club in any debt, and that's not all right. You know, I don't quite get it myself.
Yeah, it's crazy times, and it's crazy times. In terms of the City perspective, obviously, well, technically, he might as well call it end of the season now. Who would you like to sign in the summer?
Certainly, we've got to start at the back, haven't we? We certainly need a centre half or two, in my opinion. I think we need a left back. I'm the jury's well out with me with Benjamin Mendy. Again, it's weird as a City fan, and Newcastle might find this out shortly, but from a City fan's point of view, it's weird for me to sit here moaning about Benjamin Mendy, you know, because once upon a time, he'd have been like our go-to hero, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? But the way that we are at the minute, and let's face it, as good as we are, you look at someone like Benjamin Mendy and think, well, is he gonna cut at him? You know, and for me, the level that we're at, the jury's out on him. So I think we certainly need a left back, a couple of centre halves, and possibly even a right back. Kyle Walker might be in big trouble after he. Thinking the lockdown rule, and I don't think that impressed Pep too much, especially with Pep. His mum died and everything, didn't he? You know, so maybe even a right back, a full back forward for me, they could do with, to be honest with you. And certainly, I think the time hasn't come because of his ability or anything like that. But I think time is ticking where Sergio Aguero's concerned, and I think we need to. I think we need a replacement lined up, certainly in the ready and waiting for him myself. I'm not overly worried about David Silva and a replacement for him because I genuinely think Phil Foden can step up to the plate, you know. But we certainly need to start thinking, and I'm presuming Pep and the gang will be what they'll be thinking about a replacement for Serge, you know.
I was going to say before, Benjamin Mendy's no Michael Ball.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Were it Michael Ball who stood on Ronaldo, didn't he, against United?
Yeah, did you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I think we got beat that
he,
night.
yeah, he took out Pedro Mendes as well, if I remember rightly.
Oh, that was Ben Thatcher.
Oh, Ben Thatcher. There you go. Yeah,
Ben Thatcher, yeah, I was there for that. I was
Ben
sat literally
Thatcher.
2 or 3 rows from the front, and I saw it when he did it. And at the time, you don't quite get it in real time, do you? How bad the challenge were. And I can remember a few City fans who must have like got a better look at it than me.
Yeah.
Stood on the feet and started giving Ben Thatcher a load of stick for it, you know. And I started sticking up for Ben Thatcher. I'm like, whoa, leave him alone. You know what I mean? He's just a proper challenge. No wrong with that. And then I got home and I saw it on the telly, and I thought, oh,
yeah, bit of a nasty on that one.
Oh, it was bad on that, weren't it? And it really injured the lad, didn't it? He had to have reconstructive surgery on his face and everything, didn't he?
Yeah. It was a stupid tackle. So yeah, Sergio Aguero replacement. What who are you wanting? Mbappe?
Yeah. Is this my Christmas wish list? Yeah. To be honest with you, I'd pick Mbappe. I don't know, but I've been thinking for a year or two now that because Jesus is going to keep developing and stuff, you know. So I've been thinking for a year or two: is there room for a Lewandowski type player? Good with his feet, but still a big lad and still poses a threat in the air and that. You know, I've been thinking for a while whether it's time for something like that. But people would argue entirely suit Pep's style of play, but a plan B is always a good option, isn't it? You know.
I mean, we could get Haaland.
Yeah. Well, it's another one. I mean, obviously with the City connection there with his dad and stuff as well, he's one that's I'd like to see him and all. Yeah. And again, he fits the bill as a big lad, good with his feet.
In terms of obviously football on the lockdown at the minute, do you think it'll come back soon? We think May, June?
I mean, I don't know who's watching this, you know, but I need to get my view out there straight away here that I think the season should be void straight away. Let's void it now.
I'll share it on the Liverpool fan page. You know, right?
Yeah, cheers, mate. No, if I'm honest, I genuinely do think it should be void, but for 5 different reasons, and that includes if they decide it's void and we're going to take your Carling Cup off you, and even from a City fan's point of view, you know, it's not. We don't really want it to be void because we're in a great position in the FA Cup, great position in the Champions League. So void's not exactly going to suit us, but I think when you consider the bigger picture with this COVID-19, even you know, hosting a football match, a Premier League football match, they reckon even if it was behind closed doors, there's something like 300 staff required.
Yeah.
Well, if they're telling me and you, Dan, that we can't go in the pub, then they can't be doing any of that, can they?
That's exactly right, Stu. That's exactly right. It was my point last week as well. I said you can't bring football back with no fans. I mean, they're just going to congregate in the pub because they're going to be 3 months out of the pub.
Well, that's it. It won't help the lockdown. And Pep said it, I think, at the start of all this, that why do we do this? He said, you know, you're talking about playing this game behind closed doors. It's not our game. It belongs to the fans. It's the fans' game.
Yeah.
So why, you know, playing it behind closed doors? It's just not fair on the fans. But I can understand, you know, why it makes sense to, you know, if it's viable and they can pull it off to get the season finished as quick as possible and do that behind closed doors. I can understand that. But I just don't understand how they can justify, you know, 300 people having to come together to work an event such as a football match when there is bigger things going on in the world, isn't there?
There is. Yeah, I mean, you need first responders there as well with ambulances for the games.
Exactly. And I mean, and that's taking sources away from resources away from the NHS and the people that need it right now. You know, there needs to be, whether there's no fans there or not, there needs to be a police presence. Obviously, it'll be a smaller police presence with no fans, but there needs to be.
Yep.
Maybe they're thinking that if they do void the league, whatever police presence and ambulance presence they've had to have at the football matches, they'll have to probably triple it down in Liverpool when the riots kick in, you know.
Well, if we cancel the league and then obviously no champions, no promotion, no relegation, then we'll get it from both sides. We'll have Liverpool and Leeds. So,
Liverpool and Leeds, yeah. We're United in the league at the minute. They might be quite happy with it. This is something to shut up here. She's a red, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If it was if it was shut down, all the rest of it, would City go in the Champions League next season? I mean, we've gone to the court of arbitration of sport. We're not been convicted, have we? I mean,
not just yet. No, not just yet. And the noise is coming out of City are that it's kind of like a "don't worry about it" noise. We've got this covered and we've got it in the bag through the court of arbitration for sport. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, it's kind of gone really quiet, and it's since all the lockdown.
Yeah.
There's not really been anything mentioned of it. And when you think about it, under normal circumstances, net would be the start of the Champions League. When does it start? Qualifying rounds in June or something? June, July?
Yeah.
So obviously the lockdown has just postponed everything, hasn't it? You know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously from a big blue like yourself, do you trust the club in terms of financial fair play?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think it's just a load of nonsense. I think it is what I said it is earlier on. And this has been backed up by the likes of Gary Neville, and let's face it, these guys don't want to see City win anything. But it's just what's right. Gary Neville's saying how can you stop a man from spending his own money? How can you, regardless of where the revenue comes from or how big your fan base is, if it's his money and he owns the club, why can't he spend it? I just don't get it.
Yeah,
I think it's nonsense. So in terms of the club, I don't think they've done anything wrong. I think they've probably tried to bend some rules and stuff, but I think the rules are nonsense in the first place. So yeah, they've got no. I've got no qualms, mate. No.
I mean, I suppose what Gary Neville's doing in the Class of '92 for Salford is sort of what the Sheikh's doing for us. They're pumping money into the club.
Exactly. I mean, how can a club? We've not got the fan base that Man United have. We've got nowhere near the fan base that Man United have, and we're never going to have. So, in terms of revenue, to be able to catch up to the likes of the big boys on a footballing stage, just purely from a football point of view, how is that ever possible if you don't have some injection of cash? Once upon a time, I think our fan base was probably on a par with United, and they had an injection of cash, or we probably had injections of cash at the time, but they just did the right things with it. So it all, the growth of football clubs over the last 100 years has all been around cash, if you ask me.
On the Standard 442 page in the next few weeks, we're going to record the Premier League Hall of Fame for all the clubs that have ever competed in the Premier League.
Are you going to ask me to pick my best 1 to 11 now?
No, I'm going to ask you to pick 2 players from City teams over the years in the Premier League who you'd put in your Hall of Fame.
Oh, right, okay. Well, to be honest with you, I mean, at the minute at City, it's really difficult to not choose people like the current squad or the squad over the last 2 years, the likes of Vincent Kompany. But I've got my favourite man has always been King Clancy, And there is an argument as to whether he will catch in this team. There's people for and people against. I think he would myself. I think he'd be an ideal Pep Guardiola player.
Yeah.
But he was just magic when he, but yeah, like you said, there's a lot of them. There's kind of too many to mention. To pick 2 is pretty difficult. So I would say King Clancy, and then I'd probably have to go for David Silva.
David Silva, okay.
Yeah.
We
could do that, and then the Hall of Shame, I'd have Jamie Pollock and Lee Bradbury.
Jamie Pollock. Oh my God. Oh shit, they're bad. Fucking hell. Not Andy Morrison, no.
Do you remember that? No, I loved Andy Morrison. He, to be fair, he'd be close to being in my Hall of Fame, Andy Morrison. but Jamie Pollock, do you remember that own goal he scored?
Oh, don't remind me. Jamie Pollock, man. Jesus Christ.
Who was it he chipped? What goalkeeper? Ike Gimmel or something? Into his own net with head. Oh, embarrassing. He looked like me, Jamie Pollock, didn't he? Honest to God. I couldn't get a shirt to fit me in club shop, but how did they get one on him every time? I'm telling you.
Jamie Pollock. Fucking hell. I tell you who I miss in midfield. Ian Bishop.
He were classy, weren't he, Bishop?
Yeah.
Another one who I always thought were pretty classy were Kevin Harlock. Super Kev, he were a classy player. And again, there's players like that, and sometimes they don't quite make it to the very pinnacle or the very top, and sometimes it's not because of their ability, that is it. It's just because of, I don't know, it could be, there's a number of things it can be because of. But when you look at some certain players over the years, There's a few like that, like Kevin Orlock and Ian Bishop and stuff. You think they had real quality, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, and then you got Berkovic and Ali Benabia.
Berkovic, Benabia. Yeah, there's been some. Keith Curl were a classy player, you know.
Keith Curl, yeah.
He'd probably in a different era, different time, might have had a much more success.
Remember that volley that Jensen scored?
Nicholas Jensen against Leeds.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, quality that. I remember that.
Quality that goal.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Like, I remember the day we signed fucking Nicholas and Elka, and I was just like, what the fuck's going on here? Like,
yeah, he were a great footballer. You wouldn't go for a pint with him, though, would you? You wouldn't, would you? But he were a hell of a footballer, and he did it wherever he went. Did he? He did it at Arsenal before us. He did it at Liverpool. He were good before he were at Liverpool before us, weren't he? And then he ended up at Chelsea and that, didn't he? He were a quality player.
Yeah,
loved the signing on fee though, didn't he?
He loved it, didn't he?
He had a soft spot for a signing on fee, that lad. He won't be getting bus anywhere, will he?
No, he's definitely not short of a few quid. I just remember Mark Kennedy at Blackburn last day of the season.
Kennedy. He was another one. He was a tidy footballer, him. At Blackburn on last day of the season. He tore him in his ass, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
There were more City fans there that day, weren't there? It was fantastic. That I weren't there, but I remember watching it with my dad on the telly in the pub. Fantastic, that.
Would you pick a manager in the Hall of Fame? I don't go Pep because that's come on.
I've got to say Pep. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. I would say that Mancini's a close second for me.
Really?
Forza Mancini. I love Mancini. Okay. I really was strongly against us getting rid of him. I were really pissed off with the club when they got rid of him.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, apart from obviously the Premier League, and you can't pick Pep Guardiola, right?
Okay.
From I'd say from 1990 to now, who would be your favourite manager?
That's not managed in the Premier League.
Yeah, you pick it. Yeah, any time he's managed. Yeah.
But I'm not picked. So I'm excluding City.
No, you're excluding Pep and Mancini. But I'm talking over the years, a City manager who you'd put in the Hall of Fame.
Except Pep and Mancini, I've got to say Kevin Keegan.
Keegan, okay.
Kevin Keegan. We scored that 100 goals that we scored that year. Exciting football. Ali Benabia. Like you said, Ayel Berkovic. Pep. Keegan for me. Yeah, I love Keegan.
For you. That'd be Joe Roll for me.
Joe Roll, yeah, there's a big step for Joe Roll. I mean, we won't be where we are now today without Joe Roll, would we? Yeah. Just the football that we played under Keegan was it was quality. It was quality. Great to watch. Always load of goals at both ends, but it was good to watch.
Thanks for your time, Stu. Appreciate it, mate. Just let everyone know before he goes, if you want to visit Stuart Wild's Facebook page, he's doing, you say it was 10 challenges and £100 a challenge?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to raise a bit of money for the Springle Hospice in Rochdale, which if you're from Rochdale or you know anything about the hospice, you'll know what a wonderful cause it is. It's a cause that's particularly close to my heart. So I've done it through my my business Facebook page, which is D&W Cars Limited. And the aim is to raise £1,000. To be fair, we're only 24 hours in, and I think we broke the £300 barrier. So I'm really chuffed with how it started off. The idea is to do 10 challenges a day until we get up to £1,000. If we can smash £1,000, that'd be fantastic. One of the challenges I did yesterday was one of my good mates. Thanks very much. He challenged me to tell people what happened the last time I purchased a push bike. And what happened was I sat on it and it broke. So that was a bit unfortunate. So that was challenge number 1 anyway. So I smashed that one. Challenge number 2 today, I've got to do 20 press-ups. Not quite sure how it's going to go, if I'm honest. It's been a while.
Well, I'm sure you'll do well, mate, because like I say, you're a great lad, and I'm sure you can smash that grand.
Thanks very much, pal.
If you, like I say, before you go, the floor's yours. If you want to give everyone a message regarding coronavirus and all the rest of it, just to get everyone to listen.
The floor's mine. Well, shall I tell a joke or something?
Hey, they say, all right.
No, listen, everyone just stay safe. Look after your loved ones, do what you're doing. we'll come out of this the other side, won't we? Yeah, just stay safe, get pissed, keep eating, and let's see who can beat fattest at the end of it.
No worries. Thanks, Stu. Thanks, pal.
Take care, Dan.